Hello again, guys. If you're wondering, yeah, this was filmed on the same day because I'm lazy and I need to get them all out on the same day because if not, I'm not gonna film anything. So, today I want to talk about the Realm of the Elderlings short stories because I've seen many videos about the series, but they always skip the short stories, they just talk about the main series. And to be fair, you don't need to read the short stories to understand the main series, but I think the short stories, at least some of them, add a bit more to the world. And if you are a major fan, like if you are casual, oh, I like this story, but you are not really that invested, you can skip the short stories. But if you really, really love this world, I think the short stories are a must to understand the world better, and also they are good. They are simply good. So, starting with the best of the bunch is The Willful Princess and the Piebald Prince. This isn't really a short story, it's more like a novella, right? So this one was published in 2013, and it's best read before Fool's Errand because this gives more information about the Farseers and about the Piebald Prince, which is important to understand the plotline of the Piebalds in the Tony Man trilogy. So I think out of all the stories, this one should be a must read, even for people that are casual readers of the series and are not in love with it. But I mean, if you read the entire series, are you not really in love with it? If you read the entire series, read this one too, please, because this one is really short and it's really good. And this one is about Felicity, which is the companion of Princess Caution at Buckkeep Castle, and it's about the time since the Piebald Prince was conceived until he becomes a man, and how the nobles treat him, and also gives more information about the wheat, like how people see the wheat. This is also interesting because it is the only book in the series that has a lesbian main character. So there is also that. The writing is still very good. Of course, it's Robin Hobb. You know this. And yeah, I think this one should be a must read, especially before Fool's Errand. The first time I read it, because I reread it this year, the first time I read it was after the Tony Man trilogy, and it was still good by then, but before would be best. Next, I want to talk about the ones in The Inheritance. This is a collection of short stories by Robin Hobb and her other name she publishes under, which is Megan Lindholm. There are 3 short stories, Rio T short stories in here. This isn't all Realm of the Elderlings short stories. It has some by Megan Lindholm, of course, but I think it's worth it to get this book still, even because the short stories in this are really good. And the Megan Lindholm, she writes more of a urban fantasy kind of thing, which isn't really my thing, or magical realism sort of thing, which isn't usually my thing, but the stories were alright. Of course, my favorites were the 3 Realm of the Elderling stories. So, the 3 Realm of the Elderling stories in this one are Oncoming, which was published in 2003, and is set in the Rain Wilds. And it's best to read this one after the Live Ship Traders trilogy, because that is when the Rain Wilders are introduced, and you get more about the first settlement of the traders there in the Rain Wilds, because it used to be inhabited until some Gemalians got there. That's what this story is about. It is about our main character is called Carillion Carrock, and she and other Gemalians are exiled to the Rain Wilds and need to learn to live there. And of course, then they start to to feel the magic of this place, and they start to grow scales and hearing voices. We know how the brain wilds work. If if you read the Live Ship Traders, you know. If not, this might be spoilers, might not, I don't know. But yeah, that's the thing with the Rain Wilds. And if you want to know more about the Rain Wilds, this is a nice short story to read. Also, the main character is really cool, so, and interesting. So yeah, you don't lose anything by reading this short story. Then there is another short story which is also best read after the Live Ship Traders trilogy, called The Inheritance. So this one focuses on a former, no, not former, on a girl called Cerise, and she comes from a Bingtown trader family, but her grandmother lost all of their fortune. So it focuses on her trying to recover her inheritance with the help of the wizardwood charm that belonged to her grandmother. So this one has a little bit more information about Bingtown traders and their traditions and how they see things. You know, they are very proud and stuff like that. And this has a bit more about that and a bit more about how the wizardwood works. This is a bit like Kenneth and his charm from the Live Ship Traders trilogy, you know, with Pinocchio and Gemini Cricket kind of thing going on. Yeah, that's what the story is about. This one is the shortest in this book, from the realm of the Elderlings ones. The Megan Lindholm short stories are even shorter. And the last one is Cat Smith, which is set in Cogs Bay, or near Cogs Bay, in the Buck Duchy, and was published in 2011. This one can be read either after Farseer or after Tawny Man. Your choice. Anything is your choice, really. I'm just saying that it's better read in this order if you want to read the short stories. So this one is about a woman called Rosemary, not the same Rosemary that appears in Farseer, another Rosemary. They just happen to share the same name. And it's about her. She tries to protect herself and her son from her ex with the help of a cat called Marmalade. So this one gives a bit more information about how the wit works related to cats, because as it says in this short story, and this also mentioned, I think, across the series, that cats can speak to anyone as long as they are willing to listen. A person doesn't really need to be witted to understand them for some reason. This gives a bit more information about that, not really extensively, but you have a bit more of this thing happening because the main character is not witted and Marmalade is trying for her to understand him so he can help with her situation with her brute, abusive ex-husband. Not really husband, they never married, so ex. Then there are separate short stories besides these two books. One of them is it was published in ebook and an illustrated ebook separately. I think it was part of an anthology, but you can get it now. Just this one short story, and there are some cute illustrations in it that don't really feel like Realm of the Elderlings, but feel more like fairy tale-esque, which is good according to this story, because this story is about Pixies, which don't really appear in the series, but they are mentioned. But this is the only time they appear. So the short story is called Words Like Coins, and it's about an edge witch called Mirifan. And she sucks at edge witch magic. If you haven't read, this one is best read after 20 Men, actually, because if you haven't read 20 Men, you wouldn't know what an edge witch is, probably. I think they are mentioned in Farseer, but not much attention is given to it. So edge magic is like the use of these charms to do some kinds of spells. Like, it works like that. You make a charm, and this charm has a bit of power, and there is a bit of sciencey connected to it and stuff like that. So this girl that used to be this woman that used to be an apprentice of an edge witch sucks at this, and she's trying to take care of her farm and a pregnant lady, and she's trying to deal with these pixies, and she meets one pixie that also knows edge magic, and the story goes on from there. And you know about pixies, they are kind of tricksters, and the story goes on about should she trust them or not, how can she deal with them, and it's very good. This is my favorite of the short stories, besides the Piebald Prince, the Willful Princess and the Piebald Prince, which I think is a must. This one is my favorite because it is so fairy tale like. It seems very apart from the realm of the Elderlings series, but I really like it. And like I said, it gives a bit more information about edge witch magic, and it's the only time the pixies appear instead of just being mentioned. So if you want more about that, maybe try this short story. Besides, I think it's really cheap because it's very short, and it's sold separately, so nothing to lose, right? And then there are two that are part of different anthologies. One of them is Her Father's Sword, published in 2017, and it's set in a small village in Buck. This one is best read, I think, after Royal Assassin, because this is a story about one of the villages in the Buck Duchy that was raided, and it's how these villagers deal with their loved ones getting returned to them as forced. So you get a bit more of what is mentioned in that book about the Red Ship Raiders and how they impact these villages. Fitz also has a short appearance in this short story, so there is also that, and it's quite good. I don't like the main character so much that I forgot her name. What was her name? It's Taura. That's a name, and we see the story through her eyes, but it's not really about her. I mean, it's about her, but mostly the village as a whole and how they are dealing with this situation. And it's interesting to get the perspective of the people on the royalty and on Fitz when it comes to them. That was really interesting. And you can find this short story in the anthology named The Book of Swords. Is it worth getting the entire anthology just for this short story? I mean, if you want to read the other authors in that book, because there are some famous authors there. I think this one is the one that has George R.R. Martin too. If you're interested in that, maybe get it. If not, But I think this short story was really good. Then the other one, which I think you can skip it, to be honest. It is the one I like the least. I still liked it, but I like the least, and I don't think it adds as much to the world as the others do, which is called Blue Boots. And this one was published in 2010, and it happens in Timber Rock Keep, which is one of the lesser keeps in Buck. This one is best read after Fafsir, only because it is a sort of love story, and it only gives a bit more information about the minstrels and their role in the world of the realm of the Elderlings. But not that much, not anything that you haven't learned from Starling yet. So, and it's about Timble, which is a kitchen girl, and she falls in love with a minstrel that might not be as good as it seems. that's it. It's very simple. It's a very simple story. It is sort of cute at times. Other times it's a bit, but but yeah, you can find this one on the anthology called Songs of Love, Lost and Found, and that is it. Those are all the short stories in the realm of the Elderlings. Like I said, not really needed if you are not a super fan and want to read everything in this world like I want to, because there isn't anything in the realm of the Elderlings world that I didn't like. You know, even the books that I think are not as good, I still really like them. So obviously I want to read them all. And here are the short stories in case you are interested in them. So see you next time. Bye.